Welcome to Fans Interference. We're here on Sunday night breaking down the Eagles-Pats improbable victory for the Birds. I'm here with my partner, Spencer G. My name is Bruce the Sports Doc. And I want to start off with my Facebook post for all of you who follow us on Fans Interference. The header is, State of the Eagles, lightning strikes 3 times. Why do we say that? Because there were 3 rare events today. There was a blocked punt and a touchdown. Chris Maragos blocked the punt, and Najee Good ran it in. That almost never happens to the Pats. I think it's been 97 games since somebody has blocked a punt against them. Another, a very unusual occurrence, Tom Brady with 1,000 touchdown passes in the red zone. Only 19 in the red zone are intercepted. And this one was highly unusual. A tipped ball by Walter Thurman to Malcolm Jenkins, and he ran it back 99 yards. And finally, the great punt return by Darren Sproles. Story of this game is that the Eagles seemed to show heart. They were down 14-0. They came back, and it was just an incredible victory, especially given the backdrop that this was that these were New England Patriots, and that Tom Brady threw 2 red zone interceptions, just very uncharacteristic. The second one, we just watched the Bill Belichick. If you want to watch something really dry, watch Bill Belichick. If you want to watch something pretty honest and refreshing, watch Tom Brady. Tom Brady said that the last interception in the end zone, which was thrown to Byron Maxwell, he was just trying to throw it out of the end zone. A little bit embarrassing that he couldn't do that, and it looked like a bad interception. It reminded me a bit of the Sam Bradford interception earlier, the fly ball to center field. So all of a sudden, the Eagles are back in the hunt.
Yeah,
they have a chance to be tied with the Redskins tomorrow if the Redskins lose to the Cowboys. Yeah. And also, very improbably, if you watch the Giants, I'm sure all of you watched the Giants-Jets game. The Giants led that game for seemingly 3 quarters. The score, just the way this computer gets frozen, the score was frozen on 2010 Giants.
Yeah,
and somehow the Giants lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts?
Right. I just want to say first, getting over a sore throat, so I do apologize if my voice does not registrate to, levels that you guys can hear. But it really was a special day for the Philadelphia Eagles today and fans of this football team. And growing up here, watching the Eagles, I do remember that A.J. Feely game where he almost engineered a game-winning drive against New England when they did go perfect. And every 8 years, Bruce, the Eagles go to New England. For Tom Brady to throw that red zone interception was just beyond, it was crazy. So first it started with the Patriots quick, going up to the line and trying to quick snap the Eagles and get a rushing touchdown, and Malcolm Jenkins stuffed that in the backfield. But Jenkins wasn't done on the series, as the Patriots were going to probably score a touchdown to put them up by 7, I believe at the time. And Jenkins interception from the 1-yard line and ran it all the way back. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And then with the punt return, like you're talking about, that play happened with 15 seconds left in the half. I mean, the Patriots, the only way they could have messed that up is if the punt got blocked or if Sproles ran it back. And that happened later, Darren Sproles' play.
I believe the blocked punt was the end of the half.
Yeah, it was 15 seconds left.
Right.
So that's the only way the Eagles could have scored. And I think even New England got the second half ball, but Sam Bradford had a great drive though. Down 14, he hit Jordan Matthews. He got hammered on the throw and still hit Matthews. Bradford stood in, made smart decisions with the football, and made plays. And the bottom line though is for the Eagles to be successful, they have to run the ball. That has to be their identity. Sam Bradford isn't going to carry an offense, and today you had Barner. Right? First name is
Kenyon
Barner, who was great in preseason. I mean, I didn't see that at all. That was like a surprise. That was like a jack in the box. Like, wow. Like, Kenyon Barner is going to get, 12 carries today? I mean, that's incredible. No one saw that coming. So that was a jolt of energy. We brought up this guy, Chris Krause. A lot of changes in today's football game. But what I saw from Bill Belichick is that Bill Belichick, he definitely has the right to feel like he owns the NFL, because every year he's in the AFC title game or contending for Super Bowls, which he has 4 of in the past 15 to 16 years of coaching in New England. And Chip Kelly went to Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick asked Chip Kelly to kind of show him some tricks this offseason. And I think that Bill Belichick was maybe thinking, we just lost a football game. We're up 14-0. I want to try to bury Chip Kelly. I want to really reassert myself, in the coaching ranks, because Chip Kelly's a very respected coach, and Bill Belichick wanted to lay down a monumental performance today. There were certain evidences of Belichick, trying to outsmart, the Eagles with the reverse pass, the drop kick, not, running the ball to get to halftime. He did a lot of things today that were unconventional, and that might have been because Chip Kelly was on the sideline and because of their interaction that they had this summer.
Yeah, and looking at the post-game press conference by Belichick, he wasn't quite as rude and mean as he was last week after the Denver game. Although he's always a bit curt, he wasn't as sarcastic. He did give the credit to the Eagles. He mentioned their special teams were well coached. Dave Phipp is the special teams coach. He also gave credit to the defense. Fletcher Cox, he said, is one of the best in the league. So for Belichick to actually give praise to the opponent, something pretty gratifying to hear.
Yeah.
And looking at it, I guess, look at Sam Bradford's performance. The first half, he had the maddening 5-yard checkdowns. He was only 1 for 5 on third down conversions, and I think it was really poor. And let's face it, they came back. They scored 21 points on other than their offense. And, looking at Bradford, the pluses are he's not Sanchez. Sanchez was abysmal, horrible. The team didn't seem to play at all. The line didn't block. But there was a spark today. Obviously, Kenyon Barner, Darren Sproles was running from scrimmage, really gouging him. And obviously the punt return was fantastic. So
yeah.
I think these are the guys you get going. And essentially, DeMarco Murray had one good run in the second half. But other than that, he was benched. And Aguilar, again, was kind of invisible. There was one pass that was somewhat catchable that he dropped. Jordan Matthews looked solid. To me, he's the only real NFL wide receiver. You could look at Riley Cooper and say he's kind of like he's a blocking wide receiver or even a tight end type. Yeah. Made a good play. I'm still concerned about Sam Bradford and inability to throw the ball like an NFL quarterback.
Right.
Just waiting for that one first 10-yard out play. Still haven't seen it. The 11-yard pass to Riley Cooper felt like a 30-yard pass because we're so used to 3-yard passes and screens. But to Bradford's credit, he showed poise. He was able to hand the ball off without playing a game of potato sack like Sanchez, and he had some emotion.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jeff Lurie gave everybody a pep talk before the game, and he texted the team before the game, and they were they seemed like they were really up for the game.
That has to be a big group text too.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably group text. I think there's nothing worse than a group text, I always say. When you're locked in a group text, even if it's with people like Perry Liss and Scotty Tobias, it's still bad because you keep deleting it and it keeps coming back like a bad penny.
I have to say, well, first off, Jeff Lurie having all of their phone numbers and texting them all different texts would take a ton of effort. That would probably take about 3 hours. That would be very commendable. Could have just been an email, which I think he did. The pass rush today was absolutely impeccable. It was fantastic. And that's how you win in the NFL. That's how teams beat the great Tom Brady, is moving him off of his platform, moving him off of his ship, sinking the Titanic, so to say. And the Eagles were able to get in there with Barwin, had a great game. Fletcher Cox, Benny Logan. Brady's float was sinking the entire game. He couldn't get through his progressions. And the Eagles had a favorable matchup because the Eagles blitzed a lot, played a lot of one-on-one. And that really was favorable because you only had Brandon LaFell and Danny Amendola as his two targets, where Edelman and Gronk were both out of the game. So that plan worked to perfection for Billy Davis. The team showed a lot more effort. There was 11 days to prepare for this game. This reminded me of the game where they played the Giants, where their defense was dominant against Eli and Odell Beckham, and also the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees is a quarterback, as he demonstrated today versus Carolina, that's capable of going into the high 30s on defenses and dictating play and throwing for 3-4 touchdowns on a given day. And the Eagles earlier this season shut down Drew Brees. Even in the Miami game, the Eagles defense made plays. And it was tough to lose Jordan Hicks. You certainly would want to have that guy, playing and improving. But he gave them a great jolt earlier in the season. The Eagles defense today, that wasn't a fluke. We can talk about the first 3 plays definitely being uncharacteristic, special, memorable plays that you'll remember for a long time. And that's the INT, a 99-yard pick six is just absolutely incredible. A blocked punt in that circumstance with 15 seconds left, and Darren Sproles. So that's great effort. That probably won't be repeatable plays, but the defense today in their front seven, if the defense played like they did today, the front seven, with that effort, intensity, and skill level, the Eagles can hang with anybody in the NFL. And no quarterback likes being pressured. It's the ultimate equalizer in terms of everything. It's like a 3-pointer to a mid-major in the NCAA tournament.
Just a quick preview of next week. Exciting home game. The Buffalo Bills. We watch a lot of Bills games. We have collaborators Wes Kaminsky and Gary Kaminsky, and Bills are one of our teams. But when they play our home team, it's a different story. We see Rex Ryan, making a lot of boneheaded play calls. We're scratching our heads. They did pull one out today against the Titans, but I think it'll be a good matchup.
The Titans and Texans.
Whatever, it's late, but same thing. They're kind of the same kind of team anyway.
Exactly.
But basically, I think Shady McCoy's going to be out to prove something, and he's going to get his. Tyrod Taylor is by far the best of the Buffalo quarterbacks, and Buffalo has an opportunistic defense. I think it's going to be a pick-em. It's going to be too close to call. The Buffalo's right in the playoff hunt now, so we're excited about that. Yeah. We're going to be doing our tailgate this week, depending on the weather. If it's 50 degrees or warmer, which it might be, we'll be in a regular spot in the P lot. That's Philly's VIP lot, P11. If it's cold and windy like it was the last time where we didn't have the kind of crowd we would have liked, we will be going to the warm confines of our home at McFadden's at the ballpark at Citizens Bank Park. Yes. So either way, we're going to be there from 10 to 12 doing our Countdown to Kickoff show with Joe Kraus, our producer and fearless leader, with Joe Doherty, our man about town, average man in the stands, and of course, the head of PhillyLabor.com. We have our fantasy guru and expert in NBA basketball and NFL football. Perry Liss will be there. We'll also have Gary Kaminsky, who is our reporter directly from Buffalo, will be in attendance in his gear, in his Buffalo gear.
I wanted to, before we wrap this up, we have a couple of minutes. I wanted to just ask you 2 questions, like big picture questions about today. And the first question for you, Bruce, is where does this Eagles win rank? And just describe the emotion of what it was like to get into this ball game, because when you're transfixed in a football game such as today, you kind of lose yourself in the moment of the game, kind of like a great movie. You just escape, all of life's stresses, and just that must have just been pure jubilation today. Seeing the Eagles play that way and seeing them win. And then a question that I'm sure a lot of people don't want to ask right now, but I'm going to ask it anyway, is do you see the Eagles competing for a playoff spot in the NFC East going forward. Like, do you think that this could springboard some W's going into the following weeks?
Okay, to answer your questions in order, this win immediately goes into my top 10 Eagles victories of all time, and where it ranks probably somewhere between 5 and 10, but still top 10. And I've been watching the team play since Franklin Field days. Always my number one will be 1980 NFC Championship against Dallas. You referenced a great game, the A.J. Feely game, and Samuel, what was his first name again?
Asante Samuel.
Asante, funny name for a funny guy. Asante Samuel tore our hearts out the last one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Please. That would have been my top 10. But the fact the Eagles lost 3 straight, they were completely down, and they were playing a team that some people thought the Patriots team is one of the all-time great teams. They lost in a shootout against Denver, and nobody gave the Eagles any chance. So the fact that those 3 exciting, rare events there, block punt, interception return, and punt return in the same game puts us in my top 10. So, yeah, that's really exciting. As far as the playoffs, I think the Cowboys are cooked. Without Romo, I think they're going to lose to the Redskins. I think the Redskins are pretty good. So I think the Redskins are going to have a 1-game lead, although the Eagles are going to have their chance at home in 3 weeks to even the score. I don't think you can discount the Giants. They're kind of a off and on kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team. When they're good, they're great. And today they somehow managed to give the game away to the Jets. So I really think it's a 3-horse race going down the stretch between the Eagles, Giants, and Redskins.
Yeah, I think that this win puts the Eagles back in conversation. It's so humorous to think back to our mindsets when we beat the Dallas Cowboys. And I looked at the schedule and I saw 4 games. I saw home against Miami, home against Tampa, away at the Detroit Lions I think they were maybe 1-7 on the season, Detroit. So I said to myself, okay, I think the Eagles are going to beat Miami, beat Tampa because Tampa has a rookie quarterback in Jameis Winston, and then at Detroit, that should be an easy win. And then New England, that's when the reality check comes in. That's where you kind of take a step back. Complete opposite happened. New England was the game that they actually lost. So just funny how everything works out. Definitely helpful for the team morale and Chip Kelly going forward. The defense, if they play with that kind of effort and intensity, I don't think it's too far-fetched that the Eagles can win a couple more games and put themselves in position to compete in the NFC East, maybe host a home game, maybe versus like a Minnesota Vikings, a team that's a beatable team, and the Eagles might actually win a playoff game this season. Which is unbelievable. But that's the NFL. That's the type of league that this is. It's the greatest game in all of sports. It's parity to the max. 9-7 teams can beat 11-5 wild card teams. And the Philadelphia Eagles that allowed Matt Stafford and Jameis Winston to throw for a combined 9 touchdowns, they picked off Tom Brady twice today and only allowed 2 touchdowns to Thomas, the greatest quarterback to ever play in this game, Brady. And that's the beauty of NFL football and sports.
Well, with that, we like to give we like to give you little bite-sized pieces with our Google Hangouts. We'll urge everybody to download, take a glance at this and other podcasts in the future. I want to thank my co-host Spencer G. And apologize, I'm a little tired. I had a great event, great family event with my daughter yesterday, and just really satisfying victory. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Until next time, it is the Fans Interference team.
Thanks.
Over and out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.